All right, so milestone history. The many queens of Sheba. In the deepest depths of history, separating fact from fiction is an impossible task. But the legendary Queen of Sheba has captured imaginations from the moment she first appeared in the biblical tales. Written by Amy Shu, artist Maria Laura Sanapo, color Michael Atiet, and letter by Carlos M. Magwal. Amy Shu is a comics and TV writer and a passionate coffee guzzler and Lego hoarder. Her works include Delta, Dragon's Blood, Poison Ivy, Cycle of Life and Death, and dozens of issues of Red Sonja. She is a frequent contributor to the Daryl Makes Comics universe and is an instructor for DC and Allies Milestones Initiative. Maria Laura Sanapo is an Italian comics artist and illustrator who has worked for Warner Bros. Entertainment, DC Comics, and Dynamite illustrating titles including DC Comics, Bombshells, Wonder Woman, Batwoman, Vampirella, and Red Sonja. She teaches at the International School of Comics in Florence and at the Cumbert School. Hey, watch where you're going, Virgil. Excuse me, coming through, running late. Cutting it close there, bud. Yo, Darius, if I knew we got a sub, I wouldn't have hurried. Thank you all for being on time. I am Miss Aoki Smith. Mrs. Wheeler is out with the flu, so I'll be teaching you this week. She did leave me some instructions, including your group project assignments. Chris Friedman and Sonia Morales, Virgil Hawkins and Raquel Irvin. Man said yes. Lucky man. Hey Raquel. Hey yourself, nerd. I'm in static. Shh. How are we supposed to keep our superhero secret identities if you're out of me all the time? Relax, no one heard me. What's the topic? Is the Queen of Sheba? For real? This should be easy. Is that so? What do you know about Queen of Sheba? Well, basically, this is what I learned from Sunday school. The Queen of Sheba heard King Solomon was wise and powerful like herself. So she decided to meet him to see if this was true. Supposedly, he heard rumors that she was part demon, fucking hell, but had hooves for feet, which is like, what? But she looked perfectly normal to him, of course. The queen gave this Solomon guy lots of dope gifts. She, being super smart, asked him a bunch of riddles, of which he answered every one. He in turn tells her about his god. The queen, being unmarried, warned the king, don't try anything funny. He agreed as long as she agreed not to take anything of his. Then the king did something super sneaky. He made sure the food was extra spicy. This guy's got game, you know, this guy's got game. You see them things there. Later that night, she gets very thirsty. Oops, gotcha. He catch her taking his water. Solomon says she broke the rule, basically they hook up. The queen goes back to her kingdom pregnant. The queen gives birth to a boy, the end. The way I see it, it's kind of a love story. That is certainly one interpretation. You do realize the Queen of Sheba is only mentioned twice in the Bible, and there's certainly nothing about marrying Solomon. I mean, that was just one of the top of my head. And if I had a chance to wiki it, she isn't even named in the Bible. What about the Hebrew version or the Quran? In the Islamic version, she called Bilqis, by the way. Like, this is gay. So listen, this shit is about to flame so many souls who are not even ready for it. And of course, there's the Yemeni and Saudi versions. The most complete is the Ethiopian version, Kebra Nagasm. See, look, bruv, how am I finding out like other versions through a comic book? Are you fucking mad? Let me take note of this shit, bro. Imagine this. Imagine this. We're over here reading comic books and man's learning about history over here, bruv. Her name is Nakeda, and she is the daughter of man who killed the Snake King, Awi. The history is similar to the biblical version, but when Makeda leaves Solomon to return to Ethiopia, he gives her her ring. Her son, Menelik, grows up to return to Solomon. He doesn't stay, but returns to Ethiopia with the Ark of the Covenant. But the one I think is most interesting is the Nigerian version. So here we have a map of West Africa, which, by the way, where my face is right now, that's where Cape Verde is, like around that area. She's a noble woman named Olie Bilkisu, Sungbu of the Uruba clan. She never married or had children, but became very powerful and wealthy through the incense trade. Heredo, the largest city in the world at the time, was built in her honor. For real? How do you know all of this? I read a lot. Well, cool, but then which one is right? I don't like uncertainty. Science is so much easier. Virgil and Raquel, is there a problem? Well, there is a lot of different interpretations of Queen Sheba, and Virgil here is just digesting it. The point is not who's right, but what she represents. Representation is important. Many cultures, including the Ethiopians, Yemenites, and Yoruba, claim her as their own. And you'll notice the story differs depending on who is telling it. What's true, we will never know about it. We believe we want to believe. We see what we want to see. History and mythology are intertwined, and sometimes things are better left a mystery. Am I right? I shit clocked them. The end.